So today we're going to introduce one of our new athlete ambassadors, David Skermer. So David, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Shane, as you just said, my name is David Skermer. I am a local RMT here in Kelowna, a registered massage therapist, and just been competing in sport since as far as I can remember, and then ended up coming here to Aspire.
Okay, what sport are you currently competing in?
I'm actually a javelin thrower for track and field.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Big
so
old spear trucker.
yeah, so a sport that is not necessarily mainstream around here, anyways.
No, absolutely not. There's only maybe a handful of people that dabble into javelin around here. Most of the training I've had to do is actually down on the Lower Mainland in Vancouver. So.
And at what level did you, the highest level that you've achieved in this sport?
I've competed at Canadian Championships a number of times now, and competed with and also trained with fellow teammates that moved on to the Olympics in London 2012.
Excellent. So 2012, what happened between 2012 and now, beginning of 2017?
2012, I was actually just getting into probably the peak in terms of my strength, my ability, my skill set, and had to kind of put everything to the back burner for a little bit of a while, focus on a career and enter massage therapy. So I knew that I would have to, of course, take a little bit of step back from the sport, which I hated doing, but it's what you got to do sometimes, because that's what it means to be an athlete in Canada. You don't always get the support, and you can't always just be a full-time athlete. So.
Yeah, and now massage therapy, can you relate sort of how that has helped you as an athlete?
Well, with any athlete, it's all about the journey. It's never easy, and personally with massage therapy, I've had a number of injuries that massage along with physiotherapy is what's brought me back, and being able to for me to be able to continue throwing and competing at a high level. So it was a natural fit, and it's one of those things where I want to be able to give back. So I can't be a javelin thrower forever, but I do know that once my career as a javelin thrower is over, which it's not now, that through my own personal journey and what I've learned through anatomy, physiology, and how the human body works, and rehabilitation of especially injuries, I'll be able to help the young, inspiring athletes to reach the goals that they want to as well.
Now, you'd mentioned after your RMT and injuries, something happened to you. Can you explain that a little bit?
I've received a number of pretty serious injuries. The biggest one as of recent was actually a tear to my internal oblique. So that's your deep core that lies in terms of rotation in your body. So probably one of the biggest key component muscles that I would need to actually recruit to be a javelin thrower.
So obviously this injury has potentially really set you back. What have you been able to do to overcome this on your journey back?
Well, I haven't been able to do it on my own. Probably one of the most frustrating things about that injury is that it takes you literally back to square one. You go to do a sit-up or a crunch or anything involving that core, and you can't find the muscle, you can't recruit it, and that's to the most basic level of things. So I had to reach out for help, and reached out to yourself, Shane, here at Aspire, and as well as Coach Rowe. So I'm at the point now where I have to rely on people around me to help get me back to where I need to be.
So you said it does start right from the ground again, right? That type of injury right from the ground again. Can you sort of update us on your progress? Where are you now, and how far have you come with the help?
Well, it's actually super exciting because I've been able to start throwing again. Not just go to the gym and start training, but actually pick up a weighted medicine ball and actually start doing overhead throws with rotation. That's currently where I'm at right now, and working forward to starting to grab a javelin and start doing some picking. In other words, get some touches in.
So you sort of mentioned there that you're an elite athlete, and your goal is what? Your next goal?
Well, it's always the scariest thing to say your goal out loud, but I'm coming for Tokyo 2020. I want the Olympics.
and that's awesome, and that's definitely something that we've thrown our support behind you, David.
Absolutely.
And we're very proud to support you through that. This injury you had, you said back to square one,
Yeah.
right? So that would be similar to a lot of MVA, people that get into motor vehicle accidents.
Absolutely.
You see that as well.
Yeah. It happens all the time, especially as an RMT, as you were saying. I see it all the time. That's probably the best thing about coming here, is that it's not just for the elite athlete. I'm back to square one, doing simple little things, just trying to activate a muscle. For the first 2 months of my rehabilitation, I wouldn't be doing anything that would even break a sweat. Not even close. It would be lying on the ground and just trying to simply find muscle and activate it. And that is the most important thing. Even in terms of research, in terms of anatomy, they have found that without that core stabilization, you actually can't function. I wish I could remember the name of the research article, but they found that in a healthy back, that your deep core has to fire 110 milliseconds before any lower body movement, and 30 milliseconds before any upper body movement. So even before just as you tell your arm to make a movement, your core is already firing before you even know it. It has to be there, and it has to be that base of support. If it's not there, you're just going to fall apart.
And I guess that speaks a little bit to some of the things that your coach, John Rowe, has been doing with his specialized training, one that he is only a few in Canada that has actually achieved that.
It's actually really cool because not only has Coach Rowe been able to work with my current injury, but previous ones as well. Even just talking about health history with them, I've been putting myself in a position with throwing that I've popped ribs before. And in terms of how he's able to work, even just with the rib cage, it's like a light bulb went off. It's like, oh, that's what I haven't been doing. That's what I'm missing. And the fact that he was able to find all these things that I'm able to relate back to and immediately feel in terms of memory, it makes me wish that I had found Aspire earlier.
Can you comment on your feeling of the atmosphere when you're training in the training center here? What kind of atmosphere do you feel here? Who do you see? How do you feel?
Well, who do I see? I see everyone. I see anyone and everyone walking through the door, which is always awesome. And it has more of a sense of community here. The atmosphere is, everyone's not just working out for the sake of working out. It's not just some New Year's resolution that people are going to come in here and, okay, I want to lose this much weight by this time. Can everyone here create goals to do that for everyone? Easily. But everyone here is working towards a goal, whether it's just to be able to function at work or to aspire to 2020 in Tokyo for the Olympics. Everyone here is striving towards something. It's not just, everyone has direction. That's how I should put it. Everyone here has direction. And any athlete in Canada, the hardest thing in terms of getting support from a community is finding a training facility that can actually accommodate everything I need to do. And that's here.
You touched on community a few times there, and at Aspire, that's a big part of our internal philosophy, is to be integrated into the community and actually the sporting community as a whole, but more just making the community more active. How are you involved in the community, and as an athlete, how do you need the community to help you as an aspiring amateur athlete in this community?
Well, in terms of the support, in terms of community, as you said, you have that environment here. I'm so grateful for being able to come here and actually receive training facility, receiving a coach, and having that support behind me. And now, in Canada, there is no support. So when you get into an individual sport, especially like javelin, which is not run of the mill, there's nothing. And you either rely completely 100% on your own back in terms of funding yourself, in terms of trying to provide the right nutrition and training facility, and trying to find the coaches that can actually help you and sponsor you. But that need for support is always there, and that's a very hard thing for a lot of people to do, is actually reach out and ask for help. And it's something I've struggled with as an athlete and as a person, because you want to be able to do it on your own. And when I'm standing at the Olympics in an individual sport, I'll know it's not because of me. People only see me competing, and they'll see who I am and what I'm able to do on an international level, which is super exciting to say, but it's because of coaches. It's because of people that have helped out along the way in terms of nutrition. It's because of people that have helped out in terms of providing facilities and an area that I can throw indoors during the winter. It's everyone coming together to make one person. It's, it takes a village.
Well, I know, David, us at Aspire, we are very, very excited and very happy and proud to sponsor you. You talked about goals, and you said it was scary, but 2020,
Yeah.
That's something that we're working with
Yeah.
towards you, or working with you towards, and we're dedicated to that, and we're going to continue on to support you through that. Some follow-ups are that through this process, you're going to be writing a couple blogs and updating our listeners and our viewers and our readers,
Yeah.
people who follow us on your journey
Yeah.
along the way. So thank you for saying hi to everybody there, and we're going to stay up to date, and we'll keep everybody up to date on how David is doing with his training. Thanks,
Shane.
David.
Thanks, Shane.